Welcome to another episode of the Action Toon Bros. Episode 17, Young Justice, 11-15. I'm Matthew Lewis.
And I'm Ben Sturgeon.
And we are ready to begin. Oh, first, I was about to start plugs already.
I was gonna say, we wait to the end of that.
Oh, dang. That laugh again picked up that much?
It might have been.
Well, okay.
But anyway, let's. How about we start with the first episode?
Problems. All right, first episode, Cornered, episode 11.
Yes.
We open on a spaceship somewhere in the Milky Way galaxy.
Yep, we have this teeny tiny little robot guy through beeps and blips and subtitles.
Yep, and also voiced by Phil Lamar, DC person who does 1,000 voices on this show.
Of course.
And it's just a huge voice actor in general. Also, it is April 1st. We should probably note that.
Yes,
that comes up
that is very important. April 1st.
We see the little droid thing, like R2-D2 beeps and boops, talking about the Justice League members and giving a rundown of their abilities and such.
And then when he gets to Superman, he's like, hey, look, Superman's the greatest. Weird, mysterious, big alien sitting on a throne is like, smiles. And it's like, but he's on a planet that's guarded by the Lanterns.
Yeah, they're on Rimbor, which is the planet that they were accused of attacking previously on the show. We see the big, weird alien, like, growling menacingly, and he clenches his fist and slams it, saying, I'm going to go to Earth, as he shows the robot shows heroes that are still on Earth, like Captain Atom and Shazam.
Yeah, which there's a big emphasis on Shazam, apparently. He's like, hey, look at this one right here.
Yeah, and the robot says that the alien wants them for trophies, and we see a three-eyed, purple-skinned alien. Now, DC fans should recognize Despero immediately. If you've seen, like, Justice League or Justice League Unlimited or, like, any DC comics, he pops up occasionally. This is a very weird, different interpretation of him.
And if I remember correctly, in this entire episode, this isn't really a spoiler, but he doesn't talk, so he doesn't really have a voice actor.
No, it's very weird. He just kind of grumbles and growls.
but after we get that little bit of information, we get the title card.
Yep.
And then we go straight to New York City.
Captain Atom is meeting with the Reach ambassador and is hesitant to shake his hands in front of the public. Like, I know what you guys are really up to.
Yep. And of course, with a few jabs from the ambassador.
Yeah.
And we get Adam's like, all right, but we can talk about a lot of things in private. That in private statement gets G. Gordon all up in a tizzy.
Yeah, he starts screaming and yelling anti-Justice League stuff again.
Which I think is hilarious because he keeps talking about how, like, there's so many secrets with the League. Doesn't he know anything about the government?
Yeah, well, he's a weird, very peculiar character.
I know.
I don't even remember if he ever actually gets a real proper reveal or anything. I don't know. But we cut to Taos Labs once again, where all the Young Justice people and the Pod Kids wait outside a room as Impulse nervously is tapping his feet while they're sitting in chairs, like outside of like a school principal's office or something like that.
Pretty much. And then, of course, as Jaime starts stopping Impulse from like tapping and tapping and tapping, we actually see Ty walk out of Black Canary's office, and she calls for Virgil.
Yeah, Blue Beetle is excited to see Ty. He's like, Ty, but then he's just like, oh, he doesn't know my real identity. Good to meet you, Ty Longshadow. Anyway, he kind of like passes it off. Black Canary is giving the Pod Kids counseling after their abduction. We see Virgil, like you said, doesn't want to be recorded, and he's kind of like nervous about it. He doesn't want to go any tests like that. And he's just like, oh, come on, man. He also gets a little name drop of Static Shock.
Right. And not only that, but as he leaves, upset, rightfully so, we actually see like a bunch of paper clips magnetized together.
His typical powers. But also, Virgil implies that the aliens killed kids that didn't pass their tests. Kind of like a weird thing. Like, whoa, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, there's a big important thing.
We cut to Bloodhaven, a very common DC adjacent city that's somehow worse than Gotham is.
Yeah, right. In Bloodhaven, we see Nightwing and a bunch of the Young Justice in this really rundown looking apartment.
Yeah, this really crummy shack. Mal's like, this is an April Fool's joke, right? This weird ass place isn't on our base. And he's like, nope, it is. Possible, like, Nightwing version of Word of the Day. He says, where home, as well, warehouse.
Where.
Very weird choice.
Yeah. And then, of course, after much, talking and stuff like that, and, understanding that there is not a lot of choices we have left since the mountain exploded, a lot of them are, needing to get used to all of this.
Yeah, Mal is trying, he's like, I'm screw this place, I'm going to try to move in with Bumblebee. She's like, no, that's not a good idea.
Yeah, please don't. Which, has it been established, are they going out or aren't they?
They were going out, but they just like she's really distant and always busy, and he's just
that's why I had to ask because they don't seem like it if they are.
Yeah, the bot is named. Oh wait, no, before that,
we go to Washington D.C.
Yep,
where Captain Marvel and Zatanna with Bumblebee are with Connor and Miss Martian in the Hall of Justice.
Yep, and I think this is when the robot shows up and confronts the teams about, like, oh, Shazam thinks it's an April Fool's joke.
Yeah, Shazam's like, okay, cut it out now. But the little robot known as Elron.
Yeah, Elron. I was like, is that
L-Ron, not like the elf.
Is that a reference to L. Ron Albert, the founder
of
father of Scientology? I don't know. I don't know. But he then laser cages the entire Hall of Justice, and Despero says he wants to test himself against Earth's warriors. Is it Zatanna and is it Rocket or Bee who confronts him in the front?
It's Zatanna and Bumblebee. I don't think Rocket is in this fight.
Rocket's in this one. Bumblebee, or he's like, Zatanna immediately starts doing magic, and then he's just like, Elron's like, oh, no magic, and then...
Yep, no magic, that's cheating.
He actually uses his psychic powers, because, Despero typically isn't really a brawler villain. He's typically like a lot more skinny than this version, and he usually chooses that psychic third eye to like do both of his stuff.
Okay.
That's why this was a very weird, unique interpretation of the character. But he immediately knocks out Zatanna with a psychic beam from his eye as he starts like beating up the team.
Right.
The rest of the team see him fighting Shazam, and they go to help. Mal will deal with the laser wall if he can.
If he can, which, I mean, we all know how that's going to go.
Yeah.
But we go back to... Adam.
I was going to say before that, Bumblebee tries to wake up Zatanna, who's like just standing there paralyzed, knocked out.
Right, and then of course she does the one thing she always does.
To wake zaps him, and doesn't work.
But it doesn't work.
Yep, nothing. She's completely knocked out. And then, Captain Adam and the Relation Ambassador.
Yeah, you're right. After that, Adam's very skeptical about the Reach Ambassador, but the Reach Ambassador is really nice and cool. And also reveals about the Watchtower. Yeah,
I'm about to say, like, what's with this relation dude? Because he was just rescued by superheroes at the beginning of this season. And also last season, the Assassins, when he was rescued, he was, like, constantly helped. But for some reason, he, like, idiotically believes the aliens over the decorated war hero that Captain Atom is, or any of the actual Justice League people who saved his life very recently.
I never quite understood that either, because, I mean, the Reach guy's like, oh, I know all this information even though we just met.
Yeah, and he's like, how long have you been on Earth? And then he like dodged Adam asks the alien, how long have you been on Earth? And he like dodges the question by like mentioning the Watchtower and like Kid Assassins, like relation president or whatever. You were saved by those kids, like those teen superheroes. Like, how do you not know about it? It's weird.
Yeah, it's very... I don't know. I guess the continuity of everything is just kind of weird in this scene.
It's just kind of like a very like rush. Like obviously we need conflict, but then Adam gets the call that the Hall of Justice is under attack, and we cut to the military. General Eiling from the fantasy training episode.
Yep.
AKA the General when he's a supervillain, but not in this series.
And Black Lightning also makes an appearance.
Yeah,
here.
Black Lightning finally first appearance.
Yeah, which I had to look that up. Because I looked at him, I'm like,
Black Lightning?
I don't know who Black Lightning is. I thought he was like one of those like B-list heroes that's not DC or anything like that.
He has a CW show. It's great. It's probably the best one of
I haven't watched it, but still.
But yeah, his Lightning also is actually black in this, which is very funny.
Oh yes.
I guess it's just to get rid of like the whole like weird like 70s name that he has and just like a weird Black Lightning. Just it's the whole thing. He actually gave him actual black colored lightning.
But in this one, the
trying to bring the laser field down.
Yeah, and it does not work obviously.
Nope. Despero continues to just throttle the team. McGann is still a bit out of it from the last psychic attack she did with this is right after she psychically mind wiped Aqualad, so she still does not want to confront him, use psychic powers on him.
Right, it's like, hey, you need to do a mind blast, and she's like, I can't. And of course he's like, you kind of have to. But that doesn't go through.
Yep, but Shazam tries the
whole grabbing onto him
one of the signature
yelling.
moves. Yeah, one of the signature holding. But this time it actually doesn't knock him up, but also the beam goes through the person he's holding and actually turns him back into the kid, which is usually not how it goes. Usually just holds them and they get hit, and then it doesn't.
Right. Yeah, and then of course Elron sees this. He's like, he doesn't want to fight kids, so bye.
Yeah, psychic knockout from him too. Back at the counseling, we see Beetle still like he didn't mention the future thing or about how he becomes evil to Canary. Or Impulse stops him from doing it, doesn't he?
No, we start off with Canary, Black Canary actually finishing her session with Impulse.
Yeah. And he doesn't mention it.
Yeah, and then when Lagoon Boy goes in, Blue Beetle's like, well, did you? And Impulse is like, dude, chill, I didn't say a thing.
Yeah, and that is when they continue to fight. The Beetle still tells, like, oh, you better kill Impulse, because he'll tell them, and it's like, no, shut up,
Like,
Beetle.
no, shut up, you. And then back at the hall.
Yep, Despero continues to just throw them around and beat them all up. Mal finally dons his Guardian outfit, and he goes in to try to fight. McGann is trying to psychic attacks again, but keeps getting flashes of Aqualad stopping her from doing it.
Yep.
Even though Despero literally is about to rip Connor's head off, she's unable to help psychically.
Right. I think at this point Bumblebee starts trying some things, and then all of a sudden it's like, you know what? No. And then Despero does his eye thing on her.
Zaps her too, and she gets knocked out.
Yep.
And she's almost gets squished when Mal arrives and just saves her in time.
Yep.
Back to Canary, goes over them finding out that the Beetle is from the Reach.
Yep.
Just a really quick scene of them, and then it goes right back to Mal fighting.
Yeah, really, seriously, it's like one of those blink and you'll miss it scenes.
Oh yeah, Mal is giving a big speech while McGann takes the rest of the people away.
Yep,
Mal, he keeps going about how the real strength
like
is inside.
And then you find out that all he's doing is literally talking out of his butt while everyone else needs to figure out what to do.
Yep, it's very cool. Strength, we learn also that he was trained by Canary so he can dodge most of Despero's big swings and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Connor chastises McGann for being so zonked out and not really helping, and he goes in to help Mal, who will get killed, and she tries to help, but she tries to use her psychic powers to undo Despero's.
Right, yeah, she does her telepathy on everyone who has the mind. I don't know what do they call it when Despero does that?
Coma or paralyzed or
well, either way, she tries to undo it, and I think it works, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, because Zatanna then immediately just magics up Despero.
And of course, this entire time, as everyone's getting free and using magic and stuff, Elrond's freaking out this isn't fair,
yep.
and proceeds to go into self-destruct.
Yeah, also he gets Shazammed by Elrond.
Yeah.
Elrond Shazams Billy.
Yes, Elrond Shazams himself.
Yeah, Billy Shazams Elrond in this thing. Adam and Billy can't get the barrier down, and magic is also not being able to take it down.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely nothing can do it, so it seems.
And this is when the ambassador arrives and takes down it with a simple device, and then exposes the watchtower on national TV.
Ah, yes.
And G. Gordon's like, oh, you see, the League is terrible. Yay for the Reach. It's like G. Gordon continues to just downplay them and just talk them up. The relation.
The relation.
I even love the relation leader dude because he keeps. I don't know. Is he some kind of major ambassador now? Why is he dealing with the Reach?
I forget what he is. He's like a national something or other. But anyway,
he lets them stay. He says the Reach can stay on Earth forever, and McGann poses as Jean and we found out that she's living in his apartment. Yeah,
she's now Jean living in Jean's apartment while Jean's gone.
Yep.
How many times can I say Jean in this statement?
Yeah, it's fun. McGann also gets a call from Lagoon Boy, which she ignores, and Connor shows up at her apartment.
Yeah, and of course, Connor's just like, dude, can we talk? And she's just like, okay, come in.
The remaining League discuss the metagene and the Reach's goals, finally.
And then are interrupted by Jaime saying, since we now know about, this beetle, I gotta tell you guys. And reveals everything. Reveals that Impulse, the future. And how Jaime apparently is going to be the cause of all that. So, what's his conclusion that he needs to come to? Get this thing off me right now. Yeah,
and that is where the episode ends.
Yep, episode done.
It was a pretty good one. I like seeing Despero, and I liked him having to just fight a big... This also happens like a very similar episode later down the line happens again.
Now, here's my question to you, because you did mention that Despero was in Justice League and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think also maybe the Green Lantern TV show had a version of Despero.
Where in Justice League? I don't remember Despero in it.
There was one of the minor... I don't know if it was earlier when it was just the main... smaller team, but I think it was an episode where he came and he was just a random alien. It might have been the episode when they were on trial in that series, which is also a funny thing that's happening again in this. But it was a space episode where he was a minor threat and an offhanded thing that they just handled immediately because he's not really a major villain. Right. He's not that impressive of
except for in this episode where apparently he almost killed kids.
Because everyone who's serious isn't there. I'm sure Superman or Wonder Woman or Batman.
Hey, what are you talking about? McGann was there. Connor was there.
No, they're not good enough apparently. But he's a reoccurring character and stuff like that. But it was good seeing him show up too. I like all the space DC villains and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
some of the extraterrestrial kind of ones can be interesting because, they're aliens. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, but I was going to say the very similar episode later has a much better alien villain who I just love.
Oh, yes.
But before we get there...
Yeah, speaking of which, we're going to go to our next one, True Colors.
True Colors, episode 12.
We actually start off in Ivy Town, where Adam and Bumblebee are traveling through the inside of Honey.
I was about to say, before that, we see a weird red watery tunnel that they're like floating through. We don't know what's going on.
Oh, come on.
I'm about to say, my next line after that is like, are there in a weird red water tunnel opening? What's that about? And then my next line is, if you've ever seen a movie, you know what the deal is.
Yeah, well...
Yeah, you know exactly what it is.
But yes, all of that build-up aside, they're actually inside Jaime looking at where the scarab is attached.
Yep, they are swimming around and touching ganglia and all kinds of stuff, inner tubes and stuff like that.
It's so weird, but it's so cool at the same time.
Yeah.
They finally find where it's attached, and so they're going to see if they can, detach the little prongs so that they can just pull it out.
One of the towns are trying to laser cut it, but then a bunch
of course, it never works out as planned because as they're doing that,
a bunch of weird little antibody robots just start pouring out of the thing. Little nanobots start attacking them, and they're unable to keep cutting the weird leg thing extension inside of Hami's body.
Because even alien technology needs to have an immune system.
Yeah, of course. It's weird as heck. We say Adam thinks that the scarab will come. Doesn't think that will come off if Jaime is alive at all.
Right. Yeah, and then of course they get out all safe and sound and all that stuff.
And of course, match cut to Gordon continuing to the anti-League speech, just never gets out. Now he's off about the Young Justice team and the Watchtower, and he continues to be pro-Reach really, really strongly, just continuing to be really a pain in the butt.
Which once again, I mean, we all know G. Gordon, and we know how happy he was when aliens just decided to be like, hey, we're here, let's be friends.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's so weird seeing him be all
It's also weird knowing what the character is. I'm like, why would they be cool with the Reach doing this to Earth? But we'll get there. But
we'll get there.
It's very weird. But speaking of the Reach have partnered with Lex Luthor for food production.
Yes, Lex Luthor and his LexCorp farms.
Yep, Alpha Squad is going undercover. Do you have who Alpha Squad's entails?
Alpha Squad, if I remember, is Robin as the leader, as well as
Tim Drake. Tim Drake,
not Nightwing.
Yeah.
And there's also Blue Beetle.
Yep.
Crap.
Impulse.
Impulse.
And now Arsenal.
That's right. Arsenal, rather than being an anti-hero, like in the episode when he becomes Arsenal, he's actually a good guy.
Yeah, and while they're on the mission, Blue is worried about the Scarab, and Arsenal is all sassy and talking about how he wants to go to the Watchtower. Like, it's lame.
Right.
The undercover agents are riding a tour bus, and they are going to Lex Farm, which is in Smallville? What a random coincidence that is, because he definitely doesn't know who Superman is in this series.
Oh, wait, Lex Luthor, the biggest enemy of Superman, has something in Smallville?
Yeah, but he shouldn't. It's not established if he knows who Clark is or not. So it's very
of course
but also Metropolis is right next to Smallville somehow. So,
right. And then of course,
also there's an old farmer on the tour who's just like, this. I don't like this.
Yeah, he says, I don't like
this. Who could that old farmer man in Smallville possibly be?
Yeah, who indeed?
Yeah. But they show him all the weird food tech, and they show the weird goo that the Reach has them putting stuff into, and everyone's
which is vitamin rich enhanced stuff.
Yeah, Impulse is the only one who tries to eat the samples. Everyone else is just taking them for.
We're taking them to be examined, and of course, Impulse is like, dude, high metabolism, gotta eat.
Yep. Arsenal points out giant vats of purple goo watering the plants that no one else is really concerned about.
Right. And is this also where you get to see the conveyor line with?
Yeah, they show all the stuff like that. This is when they ditched the tour just now. But
oh, that's when they ditched the tour.
Just when they say they have pluots, and I was like, what the heck is a pluot?
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Like I heard pluot. I'm like, did you just make this up?
No, they have pluots, and then Impulse is upset because he wants one. I looked it up. It is a prune apricot hybrid.
Oh, you see, I was wondering what a pluot.
I literally stopped the episode and Googled. I was like, what the heck are they saying?
That's why I thought it was like some DC mumbo jumbo. I'm like, the frick is a pluot?
No, yeah, it's a prune apricot hybrid. And
now we go to Western Mongolia.
Yep,
where we see
to Best Boy Sportsmaster.
Oh, yes. And of course,
he's with the lights. Yep.
Yeah, he's with the light right now, talking to them about how it's ridiculous that they killed his daughter.
Yeah, Mantis and Cal are responsible for the murder of his daughter unsanctioned. So what the heck's up with this?
And of course, the Light's like, "Why are you upset about this? I mean, you can get your revenge on him. Just stick with the script, stick with the schedule."
Yeah, and they're like, okay, here's a big pile of money. And he's like, no.
Yeah, here, just take my bribe. And of course, Sportsmaster's all like, "Hey, if I take this bribe, I'm gonna look like a chump. So you know what? I'm just gonna take my revenge out right now."
Sports report: discus throw. But
hey,
it is.
So I was gonna say, hey, sports update. Someone shoots the discus out of the air. I forget what that's actually called.
Oh, what, skeet shooting?
Yeah, skeet shooting. That's skeet shooting. Only it wasn't done by Sportsmaster.
No, it was
Deathstroke, also known as Slade.
Wade Wilson.
And I don't think in this one he's he's not voiced by Ron Perlman.
Oh, the voice actor I have down because I know that dude from other stuff. But
like what?
He does he talk now or does he have to talk later?
I don't think he talks now, but I know in the future he
Wentworth
will.
Miller.
Wentworth Miller? Which one's that?
He is from Prison Break. He's the main dude in that. Also, he is Captain Cold in the Flash TV series and in Legends of Tomorrow. And also, he's been in a ton of stuff. But he's a really cool dude.
And, of course, as Deathstroke is here...
Also, I wrote in my notes, this Deathstroke has a giant ponytail.
Yeah, we'll get to that later, because I have a thought on this. But,
Sportsmaster says Slade is his... I don't know if I call him Wade, I don't know if I call him Deathstroke, I don't know if I call him Slade.
At least they know all three of them are the same, especially if they've seen the original Teen Titans.
Of course, yeah. He is the replacement for Sportsmaster, and
the Light is just the Light is just so far ahead. They even have your replacement, so be careful.
And then he skydives out of the window, and into a copter.
And end of the sports report.
Yeah, we see that Cheshire is driving it, and he says, "Well, now he's free to kill Mantis, and Cheshire can have Calderon."
Correct. But then now we go back to LexCorp Farms.
Yep, the boys hid in the bathroom all day and got into their outfits as it's a really funny bit of Impulse, not knowing that there was a stealth button on it, or that his didn't have a stealth button, was it?
His did, but he was just like, this is great. Let's get into... And Jaime's like, dude, just use your stealth mode. It's like, wait, this thing has a stealth mode? Jaime just like presses it really sharp. He's like, come on.
They find a hatch, and it is filled with Reach scientists, adding some weird crystals to the spraying water of the plants.
Yep.
Robin grabs a sample of the crystal, and Arsenal blows their cover just because he hates Lex that much. Even though Lex is responsible for his arsenal of equipment.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't mean they're on good terms.
Of course not.
Lex just did one good thing.
Yeah, and while Lex is, of course, watching and isn't in a rush to stop it, he sends a guard. As Black Beetle shows up.
Oh, yes. Good old Black Beetle.
He once again easily beats the entire team. Arsenal's rocket launchers don't do much. And Impulse just tosses weird tomatoes at him.
Just literally throws fruit at him, which... come on. You know they're not going to do anything.
Of course, Blue Beetle won't let the Scarab take over like he did last time, so he's not a match for him as they continue to fight. Roy's lasers manage to... What is it?
Don't they like actually do like stop him a little bit?
Yeah, Roy's lasers actually do hurt him a little bit.
Yeah, I wouldn't say they hurt him. They just like distract him because like he does like go like I'm slightly uncomfortable, but it's Black Beetle.
Yeah,
and then they start running away.
Yeah, underwater, Manta is watching his son Cal, who is still brain dead, and he's with Vandal Savage, who mentions that he's a father, and I'm like, yay! Shout out to Scandal Savage. I love her to death. She's fantastic. Definitely read her book.
Yep,
Secret Six.
Scandal gets sort of mentioned, not by name.
No.
Well, just the fact that he's like, I'm a dad.
Also, he's like thousands. He's thousands of years old at least.
He's pretty much as old as the planet.
He's as old. No, he's only as old as cavemen, technically.
Okay, yeah, true.
So a couple thousand years.
But either way, and of course,
he's had hundreds of kids. If you read the other comic I mentioned, but
aside from that, Manta brings up, I'm gonna bring that Miss Martian to my own kind of justice.
Yep, and he brings in Simon, as I always like to mispronounce.
Hey, whatever, it works. But yeah, Simon is there too,
which could be bad for the team.
Oh, very bad.
Black Beetle continues to just keep beating up them as they flee into the farm fields.
Yep, and as that's happening, of course, Black Beetle is toying with them, chasing them, and all that.
Yep. They can't, they can't run Black Beetle, and Impulse can't speed up because he's holding people.
Yep, and they literally try everything in the book, and it does not work.
Yeah, they are confronted while Black Beetle catches them, and now suddenly a Green Beetle shows up out of nowhere.
Yep, a greenish looking thing that looks like it has a scarab.
It looks
kind of powers.
Yeah, you're gonna assume it's a Green Beetle.
Of course, this new opponent goes up against Black Beetle and makes it so he runs away.
I was going to say, they think that he's there to fight them, but then suddenly he starts beating up Black Beetle and we have time, let's get out of here.
Yeah, let's just get...
Also, Black Beetle calls him a rejected warrior, and Impulse does not know who this Green Beetle is, even though he's from the future and knows everybody else.
Pretty much. And but then after all of that happens...
they see that he has Martian-like abilities. And
like shape-shifting and density shifting and stuff like that.
Robin figures out that he must be the Beetle of Mars.
Yep, the Green Beetle of Mars.
Yep.
So, we have a Green Beetle.
They blast and damage Black Beetle's armor enough, and they help Green, but he gets hurt, but they shrug it off, and they keep going back.
Yep. And then they all... after a bit more fighting and stuff like that, they actually do escape from Black Beetle, and they make it to, the Kent farm.
Yeah, they hide from him on Pa Kent's farm, as it finally revealed that he's the old man on the thing. They see the barn, and he's glad to see Connor finally too.
Yep.
And we also learn that the Green Beetle's name is Ba'or Saum, which is a reference to John Carter.
It was what?
What was it? Ba'or Saum?
Now say a name. Don't just make weird lip noises.
Ba'or Saum? I'm trying to remember the name.
Anyway.
It's a John Carter from Mars reference, if you've seen that. If you've read that book or seen that whatever movie. It's a reference to the Martians on that planet. But, Borsum, I think, or Borsum, it's a weird pronunciation.
And of course, he's trying to convince the team that he's actually a friend, where Nightwing is kind of skeptical about this. Yep. And of course, he's like, you can still stay with us, but just understand we don't know about you yet. So
this is when they also explain that the Reach sent out scarabs all over the galaxy to every planet with developing life so that they could someday show up and take control of it.
Yep.
And that is why, and Jaime's was broken, and that's why he's able to take control. And Ba'or's was psychic, so he was able to fight off his Beetle's abilities.
Yep. And as all of this has been said and done and all that, Green Beetle telepathically speaks to Jaime, saying that he thinks that, he has to die in order for the blue scarab to be removed. But there could be another way.
Yeah, there's also another thing. That reason he showed up is because he was in contact with Jean, and Jean's messages stopped. All the Martians love TV on their planet. And
that is like the main way they get any information.
And they wanted to double check on the Justice League to make sure they were okay, and that is why he's showing up now. Tim holds back calling out Arsenal and just gives Nightwing the sample without telling that he blew the cover.
Right.
That's when Green Beetle actually talks to Jaime. But then after that, Lex and Savage say the team was already too late and they wanted the Young Justice to get that sample.
Yep. And then we see a conveyor with a bunch of drinks.
Yeah, a bunch of weird sodas. And they say, they're like, let them have their thing. We are gonna have our own team, and they show all the pod kids Virgil and Ty and 2 other people.
Yep.
Yep.
And that is where that episode ends.
Yeah, that is where that episode ends. It is a very interesting one. I loved seeing Green Beetle.
He was a very interesting addition to this.
Yeah,
because, I always thought it was just Blue and Black Beetle.
I
did not know that there was going to be a Green Beetle.
Yeah, I would say when Crisis on Infinite Earths happened and Jaime was first introduced as the new Blue Beetle, that's all I've ever seen of that character. And then Batman the Brave and the Bold, he popped up a couple of times. I barely know the character at all, and I barely read anything with him in it. But I didn't know about Black Beetle at all. That was really cool. Glad seeing. Honestly, out of the 3 we've seen so far, he's my favorite design because he looks cool.
Oh yeah, dude, he's literally big, buff, and he's just
it's dope as heck.
That voice.
His voice, his voice is insane. But that dude just has an insane voice.
And then of course, my favorite part of this episode was the ultimate evil plan: get everyone to drink their juice.
Yeah, their evil energy drink.
They're like evil whatever. But speaking of evil energy drinks and stuff.
Yep. Episode 13, The Fix.
I don't think that's an appropriate name. I mean, we're talking about energy drinks, and then now we're talking about that fix.
Lame.
But anyway,
underwater, Mantis's ship, we see Tigress/Artemis monologuing to herself about having to keep her cover, regretting agreeing to Dick's plan as she is just sitting in Cal's room with him. She sees Simon, who is being told, like, oh, he'll learn everything about Cal. He'll know more about Cal than himself. And she's like, great. And she's like, in her mind, oh, God.
Great.
Great.
Yeah. It's like, there's a lot of these moments where she's like, outside, she's like, awesome. And in her head, she's like the negative passive aggressive, like, awesome.
Yeah, that really keeps happening a bunch of this episode.
But anyway, point is, Simon's gonna learn everything that Cal knows, and this not bode well for Huntress.
Yeah, and Mantis also thinks that the two of them are an item, which is very funny. He's just like, I know my son really cares for you, and I know you're really important to him.
In that, like, father, like, I approve of this, but remember, I'm his dad.
Yeah, and also he tells that they will get Megan first, then we get another great.
Yep, and we get another one of those. And is this where we get the title card?
Yeah, I believe so.
And then we cut to
McGann
with Taos.
Yeah, back to Taos Star Labs. McGann is with Green Beetle, and she's still too shook to do real psychic stuff.
Yeah, but then Green Beetle's like, hey, I get it, maybe. But understand, I'm willingly letting you do this.
Yeah,
so
and also
don't be afraid.
A big creepy smile, which is funny.
Yeah, that's right. Because he's like, isn't this how you all show like that you're happy? But anyway,
Connor is hesitant, and Lagan is, come on, do it, go ahead.
And McGann actually does.
Yep.
And then, of course, she's like, yep, everything he said is the truth.
Yeah, but Baor can also counter-read Megan and see that she's upset. And he opens his mind to her with these. That is when they cut back to Simon. Is mind probing when Tigress darts him.
Oh yeah, because we get Simon like doing a thing, and all of a sudden he just turns around and goes, "Oh, I know you," and then he gets sedated.
Yeah,
heavily.
Like, his neck's going on. He's like, "Oh, what's going on?" He reads Artemis is like, "Oh, she's Artemis," and is trying to throw her around with psychic powers, but then. Like the dart. Also, she said that the dart was made by Sportsmaster. He recognizes this. He recognizes it, or she said it was.
He recognizes that it's a really potent compound that makes you like in a comatose state for a long time. They don't necessarily say it was Sportsmaster.
I think somebody says. I haven't made notes. Like somebody says it was made by Sportsmaster. Maybe it was Artemis. I'm not sure.
It probably was Tigress at least.
Yeah. Black Manta enters and she says that some kind of telepathic virus from the Martian. So no more psychics.
Yeah, well, and then he's like, how about we actually get the Martian herself? And of course, internally, Artemis doesn't like this, but externally, she's like, all right, cool. That sounds like a perfect plan. I'll go. And then Black Manta's like,
not so
yes,
fast.
yes. But we're going to have Deathstroke join you. And she's just like, yay.
Another great.
Yep. And then, of course...
we get a silly jingle, like a funny commercial with the Reach's juice.
Which, incidentally enough, is called... Reach.
Yeah, Reach. And
Reach
also,
for Reach, kids.
The very cheesy, 90s extreme commercial ends with the ambassador Angie Gordon.
Yeah, and G. Gordon, apparently.
That's
G. Gordon
kids' hypes, I guess. So I've seen that weird, crazy newsman.
Oh, man. But yeah. And then, of
Alex
course,
Jones newsman just, screaming about the...
Right? This is like, oh, my goodness. But then, after as this happens, we actually see that Green Beetle and everyone is actually watching this commercial. Yep. And this is when Green Beetle actually explains what this Reach drink is.
Yeah, it is a drug that will pacify the humans, and the team just keeps testing Green to see if he's on the level. They've already figured that out. They wanted to make sure he was cool.
Even Green is aware of it, but he's actually pretty cool with it because he understands.
Yeah, he also tells them that they are tracking and it can track and activate metagenes. They say since the League has such a low reputation, they can't go public with this information as of yet, which I'm like, that seems a little crazy that they couldn't just outwardly say, yeah, this is crazy evil drink and here's the proof, but whatever. Lagan asks why Megan has been so distant and ignoring him in their relationship, just as Tigress and Deathstroke interrupt.
Dun dun dun! And then, of course, as all of this is happening, they have a good old showdown where they all fight, and Lagan gets his butt handed to him constantly.
Yeah, I was going to say, McGann also talks to Tigress in her head, saying that she knows who she is.
Knowing, the truth.
Yeah, saying, I know who you are, what are you doing? And she says, I got to kidnap you, McGann, you got to do this. Lagan calls for backup, but they're 3 minutes out.
Yep, they're 3 minutes out, which is just enough time for Deathstroke and Artemis, who had convinced McGann to, play it up.
Yeah.
To, have McGann get kidnapped.
Yeah, and this is when I wrote down who Slade's voice actor was. Cause I think this is when I don't know if he talked in the first scene, but he definitely talks here.
Yeah, he does in this for sure. And, oh my goodness. I thought Ron Perlman did a great job, which he is the best for Slade. Fight me.
Well, I'm about to say all the live action ones. What about the?
I don't know any of the live action ones.
Joe Manganiello or
although who was the voice actor for the Injustice games?
Injustices? Ooh, I do not know. Was he? Oh, he was in the first one. He was
in the first one.
Yeah, I don't know off the top of my head who the voice actor was. I feel bad about
either way, he did a good. Whoever did that did a good job too.
Yeah, they're fantastic. But anyway, Slade takes out Lagan, of course, for good, and they capture him again just as Nightwing and Connor show up late.
Yep, and then we go back to
Jaime and Boor.
I'm just gonna call him Green.
Yeah.
We go back to Jaime and Green in Star Labs. Jaime is a bit worried about this whole prophecy thing hanging over his head, and this is when Bars is like, "Hey, I here's my solution. This is what I think we can do." I don't know if he actually. I don't think he says exactly what's going to happen. He just said what he's going to do.
He says
but he does
root around inside it, just figure out. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So he does explain that.
Yeah.
But yeah, he is going to use some kind of Martian psychic ability to pacify the voice that the Scarab has to make Jaime in complete control.
Yep. This is when we see Manta has McGann and says that the collar he put around her will only give her access to her psychic powers, and that she has to fix him. And also, Deathstroke has a bomb in the collar that he can activate from a mile away anytime he wants.
And of course, he's constantly watching.
Yep, get to work.
This is where we actually do see Deathstroke without his mask. And let me tell you, he looks just like Geralt of Rivia. He looks exactly like it, with white hair in the ponytail, like the scruff of it. I'm just like, when did this become Witcher?
I'm sure it's not a coincidence.
But anyway, aside from all that, this is when McGann, is like, hey, just so you know, all this telepathically, obviously, is just like, hey, just so you know, Artemis, this is probably going to take a while, and it's going to be very difficult.
Yeah, Artemis also tells her to actually fix him while you're here, but she says, I'll need you to go in with me.
Yep, and then, of course, Artemis is like, I don't know, but in the end, they do. They do go in together.
Yeah, they appear psychically underwater, and Artemis can't breathe at first because she believes it's real.
And then, of course, McGann's just like, hey, yo, chill. This isn't real. Just, if you think it's real, it will become real.
Yep.
It's not real. Stop thinking that.
Yeah,
and apparently that works.
Yeah, and the landscape is like Atlantis ruins and stuff.
Yeah, we're talking Atlantis in shattered pieces.
Yep, just as a psychic image of Tula appears and starts attacking them with magic.
And then we cut to Nightwing and Superboy in the hospital with Lagoon Boy.
Yep, Lagan is freaking out because Dick and Connor are here.
And he's like, oh, why aren't you saving my angelfish and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, that tigress, what does he call it? He calls her Black Manta's cow or something like that.
Yeah,
just
something
just some real bad old school insults on that dude.
And then we get something interesting. We get Nightwing explaining to Lagan the truth. The big truth that they weren't going to tell anyone.
Yeah, Lagan tells him that Cal is not a traitor. Lagan freaks out, but Connor's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Well, and then Connor's like, yeah, he must have had his reasons why he held it, took this information and didn't tell anyone. And then he and Nightwing leave calmly while Lagan's still in the bed.
Yeah.
And then Connor proceeds to be like, you are an idiot, Nightwing. You know why this happened? Because it reveals that McGann brainwiped Cal, and now they're in a worse situation because now McGann is held captive in enemy territory.
Yeah, as we cut back to Artemis, who is now made herself immune to Tula's magic, realizing that yes, it is all psychic illusion, but it's still real and hurting McGann because she feels it's all her fault what happened.
Yep. And of course, the reversal happens where Artemis is like, it's not real! But unfortunately, it doesn't work.
Yeah, Artemis swims off to find a weird, faceless psychic version of Calderon.
Who is speaking in nothing but Atlantean, mind you.
And getting dragged into a weird giant hole, but she saves him with a fishman. What?
Yeah. It saves him somehow. And then
freshman Atlantean. She says, I use freshman Atlantean to like figure out like just talking to him, and she ends up communicating with him and able to convince him.
That's right, because he uses like one word or something like that kind of thing. And then of course, after a whole while, they actually they actually start to try to get Cal to fix himself.
Yeah.
Then we cut to Black Manta saying, "Tigress, you all right?" And of course she's like, "Wow, it felt like it's been hours." And he's like, "Well, it has been."
Yep.
Like, you all right? You've been kind of dazed. And she's like, "Just thinking of things."
Yep. Outside, he's like, "Okay, well, you keep doing that, and when you're done, we're gonna kill her." And she's like, "Perfect." And then perfect.
Before that, however, he's like, "Yeah, I don't think any of this is working. So what we're gonna do is," and before he even finishes that, Cal actually notices him as his dad, and he's just like, "Okay, never mind. It is working." That's when he pulls her to the side and reveals that.
Yeah, we're gonna kill her afterwards, right? Yeah.
Perfect.
This is when we put that final scene. Impulse finds Blue with Green's tentacles
and Green's
all, his back.
all over, and Impulse is like, "Dude, that's my buddy. Stop doing that." And Jaime's like, "Hey, it worked. I don't hear the voice. I'm better. I have full control."
Yeah, that was a great end to the episode.
Yep, and that is where that ends right now.
Oh, yeah. I'm about to go over all the different Slade Wilsons, because, like, the Titans live action show right now just introduced Deathstroke.
Oh,
and Rose.
Who plays?
I don't know off the top of my head, but they also have all his son and Rose. They have a whole bunch of
Which, by the way, is it good?
The Teen Titans show, I enjoyed it. Yeah,
that doesn't answer my question though.
Well,
I said, is it good?
I'll say it's good. Yes,
okay.
I'll say it is good because it is.
Because I know you can be biased too.
How can I be biased? I've never, dude. I talk trash nonstop on the CW shows because they are all very dumb and very poorly written for the most part, except for like the beginning of Batwoman so far. It's only like 4 episodes and it's decent. And the first season of Black Lightning is fantastic. And the first season of Flash is fantastic.
Yeah.
But then everything else after that gets really stupid. Titans, I really, really enjoyed the first season. Also, Doom Patrol is also another really good show.
Doom Patrol's good.
Yeah, they're both good.
Well, either way, my biggest thing about this episode was my favorite villain from Teen Titans. One of the ones that actually made me like Ron Perlman as an actor and voice actor. Mm-hmm. He finally made an appearance. I'm like, Deathstroke's here. We're all good. The world is saved. Thank you.
I'm trying to think. Like, does he have more interpretations? He's like almost as many interpretations as like the Joker. He's like more than Lex. Like, he's been in so much stuff between. The CW show, which is a really good actor from Spartacus who plays him, who's actually really intimidating, really kicks a lot of butt. But the CW shows, which there's Arrow, he pops up in, and then the end of Justice League when Joe Manganiello from True Blood is playing him at the like post-credits scene in Justice League. They never went anywhere.
Yeah, it was like, what was that? Yeah, that was Justice League. That's right.
Or Batman v Superman. Wait,
Batman v Superman was him hinting about the big bad.
Dark Side. But then,
but it wasn't Dark Side. It was Steppenwolf.
Yeah, Steppenwolf's lame ass. Who just got jumped by Superman in the last 5 minutes. That terrible movie.
Anyway, but it was at the end of
at the end of Justice League, we see Joe Manganiello's Deathstroke, and then also Titans, another live action Deathstroke. Also, way back in the day with Smallville, there was the old actor. He's doing a ton of stuff. He's like an older guy, but he played Deathstroke also.
Wait. Smallville had Deathstroke.
Yeah, Deathstroke was in Smallville.
That's crazy.
He was a good guy for like the first half, and then kind of went bad. But like, he's had so many live action interpretations. It's like wow, But also, we barely got to see him kick butt in a movie yet.
Right. But oh my goodness, just like the man said, there are as many Slade Wilsons as there are Jokers, almost.
Yeah,
almost. But now. How about we talk about even crazier characters? Maybe even more minor characters. How about we talk about this next episode?
Oh, you mean Runaways, episode 14?
Oh, yes, indeed.
Once again, Tau Star Labs. What is it not?
Yep, where we see Ty...
we see Virgil first.
Oh, yeah, Virgil is the first
floating
one
on a can, just as he does in his old TV show.
Yep,
yeah.
on a trash can lid. But we also see all the other ones.
Yep, all the pod kids.
And
Eduardo Dorado Jr.
Yep. And also Asami.
Yeah, and the other kid who was it Neutron?
They call him Newt, but he was the guy who was Neutron.
Yeah, I had no idea who that was for like most of the episode. But yeah,
They're all being watched. Well, Virgil is being watched right now by Dr. Wilcox.
Yep.
Which I don't know how important he is to DC.
I think he's an established character. He's appears a couple of times. I think he's maybe the main one that works with Superman and stuff.
And he is very, very, very boring. Like, we're talking like Ben Stein if he didn't have the monotone voice.
Yeah, he's very, very dry. But also we see Eduardo Dorado Jr. arguing with his father over tests. And Senior Dorado says that he was working with Zeta beams, and his kid gets taken, and now he gets teleporting powers, which is the purpose. It can't be a coincidence. He really wants to understand it, but Eduardo's just like, oh no, come on, Dad, I just want to cure. I want to get rid of my powers, and I don't want this. And it's just like, come on, man, it's cool.
I know what's best for you. I'm your dad.
Yep.
I hate you, Dad.
We also find out that Eduardo was taken when he was running away from his, I assume, mother or whatever, to meet this father. But now he regrets it because obviously he kidnapped and then given weird powers.
Right, yeah.
Ty is upset and wants out, and Virgil tells him that they are gonna bust out.
Yep, Virgil's got a plan, and they go to tell
those credits.
And yeah, that's when they do. That's when they do that. Yep, you're right.
Hit the intro credit, and then cut to Amazo parts being sent to the lab through the teleporter.
Yep, from the Hall of Justice.
Yep. Virgil and the gang really want to leave, but Newt says that it's there for their own good if they stay here, and then he sets off alarms.
Oh, which is great because every time they try to tell Asami, all she says is "Sumimasen."
Yeah, all she says is "I'm sorry" in Japanese.
Oh, is that what that means?
Sumimasen is "I'm sorry."
Okay, because I don't know Japanese very well.
Yeah, but she just keeps apologizing every time. She's like, "What?" And it's like just very confused and doesn't know what they're saying. That's very funny.
It's an ongoing joke, kid.
When the base is on lockdown, Virgil tells him he really didn't have a plan in the first place.
Yeah, obviously.
None of them know how to use their powers well enough.
And then, of course, this is when, don't they get, found out by, a few security guards?
Yeah, guards appear, but then Eduardo uses behind them.
Yeah, what'd you call it? Zoops behind him?
Yeah, it was just zoop behind him. Actually, teleports, whatever.
Anyway, he zoops behind
and then Asami knocks them out with her weird chi propulsion powers.
Is that what that is?
It says she has chi manipulation, but I'm not sure because she uses weird propulsion, so I'm not exactly sure what she's doing.
She glows and she just literally plummets forward.
Yeah, kind of like Cannonball from X-Men, but I'm not really sure. Virgil knocks out the rest, and Asami opens the doors.
Well, there's a power outage.
Yeah.
And then Asami opens the door.
Yep.
While saying sorry.
Yeah, sumimasen again, sorry.
Anyway.
Nightwing is sending Blue to round up the kids, despite Ty being his best friend.
Right.
Virgil and the gang say that he wasn't running away. He was literally at the bus stop when he was taken. He was waiting for his sister and family, which are, Static Shock.
Yeah.
His family.
We actually get more drops of Static Shock.
Yeah, only Eduardo wants a cure. The others are like, I like my powers, dude. I don't know what you're talking about. It's not like you got debilitating, I could name 100 X-Men with actually debilitating abilities that ruin their lives.
Right.
You just can teleport. What are you complaining about? But yeah. Asami spots Dr. Wilcox and the guards on their way, and the kids duck down.
And it isn't Ty asleep.
Oh yeah, while they're at the bus stop, he takes a nap.
Yeah, he takes a nap, and then of course Wilcox and a bunch of soldier dudes are there, and this is when Ty starts wincing in his sleep.
Yep.
And then you hear the immortal "oh,"
as
literally his avatar pops up. Takes hold of his friends and literally just starts running away.
His astral form, which is a very unique take on the Apache Chief abilities and whatnot.
Right. And doesn't Wilcox even make a mention of this? And
yeah, he's never made it this big before. Whoa.
Yeah, that's what it was. And then of course it's just this big astral orangey thing.
Yeah, energy man running. Beetle arrives to calm everyone down, but Long Shadow crushes him and starts running, and the gang's like, oh, geez, come on. Beetle just follows them after they stop, and Ty wakes up, and he confronts them and he tells Ty the truth and shows that he is Blue Beetle, Jaime, his best friend.
Yep, and it's just what?
Yeah, then he explains that the Reach will get them and will hurt anyone they go to, and they don't have a plan, and what are you doing? And he says, he'll take them to Green Beetle, and he will help.
Yep, and then meanwhile, we go back to the Zeta Lab.
Yep, Dr. Dorado is pissed.
Yep, Eduardo's very mad at Wilcox for, abandoning all of this. And, of course, Wilcox is like, don't worry, Blue Beetle's with him. He'll bring him back. And this is when we get And this is when we get our villain of the day.
Yeah.
And you'd like to think, who could possibly be this new villain? Well, it's not a new villain, because it's Red Volcano?
Yeah, I am so glad he's back.
Because we kind of made fun of that, where he's like, why is he melting in lava when his name is Red Volcano?
That's the stupidest thing ever.
Congratulations, we were wrong, because he is back.
I'm glad I forgot that he came back. He honestly, because he's pretty much an earthbender. I'm so glad that he came back.
Right. But then, of course, he like grabs Dr. Eduardo, and he's just like, all right, listen up, meatbag. I need a Meso. Yep. Show me where he is.
He also, when he pops him through the teleporter, he destroys it behind him. Says,
oh, yes. Very important.
This is when Nightwing calls Jaime again and tells him to go back. Volcano's there. Go back right to the lab.
And of course, Jaime's like, but what about this mission right now? He's like, dude, people are going to die if you don't go here. So Jaime's just like, fine.
Eduardo wants to go back and help his father, and they're like, come on, man, we're going to go. And they're like, are you sure? Come on, and he gets a thumb. Like, everyone's like, okay, fine, yeah, we'll go back and save your father. And Asami doesn't know what's going on, but gives him a thumbs up.
She's just like, I'm sorry, thumbs up with a smile.
Yep, they land on the scene to see Blue Beetle getting rocked by Volcano.
Oh, and you think my jokes are bad.
That was unintentional, but still good.
But, of course, as all of this is happening, they find out that there's this big red cyborg guy attacking, because they don't know it's Red Volcano.
Yeah, they have no idea who that is.
Yeah.
Static keeps floating in his weird sewer lid, and Long Shadow uses his powers to free Jaime from the rocks.
All of that. See, I like this part because all of the Runaways were having difficulties controlling their powers.
Yeah.
In this moment right here, they almost masterfully.
They coordinate with as a team.
They have control over their powers at least, and of course, this is when we find out that where Eduardo Jr. was only able to go as far as he could see.
Yeah.
He actually was able to teleport inside a building for the first time.
Yeah, and Volcano says that he cannot find Meso's head while he keeps just thrashing the team and getting thrashed by them. He is ready to kill the scientist. His head. Shut up. And is ready to kill the scientist, but Eduardo teleports him. Yeah, that's what.
And there's the other thing. Not only did he teleport inside a building from outside,
he teleported with somebody else.
Yeah, he teleported with someone else without any negative repercussions. Yeah. Well, except for maybe feeling a little more tired.
A little tired, but Volcano beats Static and Asami, and then Long Shadow tosses him in the air, and Blue Beetle blasts him.
Yep, good old Sonic cannon.
It doesn't work, and he stabs Ty with a rock spear.
Yep.
The astral form of Ty gets stabbed, and it actually hurts him, looks like.
Right, yeah. So apparently attacking his astral form hurts Ty himself.
Yeah, the Blue uses his sound blasts on Volcano, and doesn't care that the bystanders are around, but everyone's getting rocked by. He's shooting a more and more powerful beam. He's getting really into it and angry about it. The kids rescue everybody, including the guards that were after them earlier.
Mm-hmm.
They made a big deal about him. I'm pretty sure it's probably some established character.
Yeah, at first, Ty was like, everyone's like, dude, he's going to kill people. And Ty was like, dude, he's saving our lives. Then as it got more intense, that's when Ty's like, Jaime, I don't know what happened to you.
Yeah, the Volcano catches the kids and rocks once again, and Jaime... He says, you'll have to rescue them. You're going to be... all you heroes love racing people. And then Jaime says, or we get a very confusing, you shouldn't stereotype. And then Jamie just regards all of his friends and attacks Volcano. Now, we haven't said it really because everyone's really a major plot point, but all of the members of this weird team are ethnically diverse people. And then it's weird, you shouldn't stereotype, felt like a weird message in the episode. But then when you find out later, coming from Jaime, it's very bizarre.
Yeah.
It felt like a really weird, mixed message, funny thing, but it was a very, very weird poignant for the episode.
Well, I mean, if I remember correctly, all of them, even Jaime, were ethnically.
Yeah, they're
different.
all minorities, I think.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what the heck. No, except for Newt, they're all minorities. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but Newt wasn't with this group.
Yeah. But everyone who was there, yeah, it's very funny.
But anyway,
the kids free themselves, and Beetle kills Volcano with the sound blast drilled into his core.
Yep, and then of course,
At the end, he's really angry. He's "Arr, arr," even after he rescues them. And he's like, kids, get back, arr, listen to me. And then suddenly a bunch of cameras come up and he's chill time.
He's like, hey, you saved the day, blah, blah, blah.
Who are you? And I'm the Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle, you haven't been on the sign forever. I'm the new Blue Beetle. And it's he's getting interviewed by TV cameras.
And of course, this is when Ty and everyone is just like, yeah, we're just going to bail.
Yeah, we're having 5:30. We see Blue talking to Green, and he says, I'll find the kids again, don't worry. And it's revealed that Green, and then suddenly walks up Black Beetle. They're working together.
Dun dun dun.
He has reprogrammed Jaime Scarab to be 100% in control.
By reach.
Yeah, by reach.
By reach, and of course, it's just. Oh my goodness!
That
was like one of the biggest.
No, I was gonna say, but that was a huge reveal. But then also, as the kids go back to the bus stop once again, Lex pulls up and says, "Hey, kids, want some candy? Get in my car."
No, no, he doesn't.
He says that he's been backing them the whole time. He was behind the power outage.
He was behind everything. Even the news reporters going up the Blue Beetle.
Yeah, he says he wants them to take control of their own destinies, and they can trust him. Sure.
So yeah, here's the candy, come in my car. And unfortunately, the kids go in the car.
Yep, and that is the end of that episode. That was a really good one. I love this team. I'm very glad we got an episode with them. Because,
I actually was really happy, not only because they did Ty Longshadow, the Apache Chief, quote unquote. They did him right.
He was very cool.
But because I got to see my boy Virgil.
Virgil kicking butt.
Oh my goodness.
Eduardo Dorado, I don't know if he's El Dorado, the superhero, because I'm not really sure. He's a weird, vague bunch of powers. But Asami, I'm not really sure at all who she is.
Yeah, I Asami and Eduardo, I did not know.
I think he might be the hero El Dorado, but I'm not sure.
What? Eduardo?
But he was a character in Justice League, and El Dorado was in Justice League. But he's one of the thousands of people when it becomes Ultimate.
And
one or two
in Justice League Unlimited.
Yeah, he's like one of the minor
one of the
people.
ones.
Yeah, one of the hundreds of pure people get like maybe one episode where they don't get a line.
Interesting.
But yeah, Long Shadow was great. Freaking Virgil was fantastic as always.
Oh my goodness,
Static's always fun. It was great. I really liked that episode. I love that team.
So many good things about that. And then, of course, the big reveal that Green Beetle was evil.
Yeah, that I did not see coming. I also, I forgot that.
Yeah, I did too. Like, when I was rewatching.
Oh, yeah.
Because at first, when I rewatched it, I was like, Green Beetle. I remember him. He's a good guy. Then that whole 180 happened. I'm like, I totally forgot about this. What?
But a great turn.
Speaking of turn of events, let's get on to our final episode of this episode.
15,
War.
Before we start, this is probably one of my favorites, but yeah.
Yes, I agree. This one was a really good, episode, and I have a different reason probably than what Matt has, and I'll explain that when it happens. So we actually start up on Rimbor, where we actually, for the first time, see the courtroom where Superman and all of the other five with him are trying to, defend themselves as to what happened.
Yep.
So we start off with...
Clark is telling the court that they aren't bad guys and that the prosecution is like, oh, we don't believe you. We see a bunch of weird aliens in the crowd and they are stating all their crimes. We also see some Krillitanians in the audience, which I was like, what the hell? How are they allowed in the... Are they all bad? I can't remember.
No, to Earth and maybe a few societies.
They said that they're based on... Like, the Green Lanterns know that they're based on, like, steel and shit.
But that doesn't mean every single alien race...
Of course. But also, the Krillitanians are also talking about, like, the Earthlings didn't do their bribes? Come on, man. Don't they know? They're so savage. They need to just bribe the judges? Like, what are they talking about?
Yeah. Which, and of course... Superman brings up Vandal Savage.
Yeah, Clark Kent was Vandal Savage. He took mind control of us. All the aliens get news that the Reach is controlling Earth, and they're like, they all check their phones or whatever, and like, the Reach is Earth, the Reach is Earth.
They're weird alien phones.
Yeah.
And when this happens...
and someone says the Reach is getting too powerful. It's ridiculous.
Yep, and as this is happening, you see two shadowy figures.
Oh, it was before that.
Oh, yeah? Before
that, Jon Stewart tells them that if Earth invited the Reach, then there's no Green Lanterns can just go and take them out of there. Which is like, they were invited.
This is when we find out because the Reach made like a pact with the Green Lanterns where they can only take over a planet if they are invited in. Yeah. And guess what Earth did?
I'm like, you guys, did you have at least 3 Green Lanterns? None of them were just like, hey, news people, the Reach are bad. I'm from space. Well, whatever.
But anyway.
This one we see 2 shadowy figures.
One of them is like, hey, you.
Yep.
You know this is bad for you, right?
Yeah.
And of course the other one just gets up and leaves in a huff.
It's a very cool scene because like the other way in the back is just like, the Reach is really bad. They're going to get influenced. And then one of them just stands up. I think, do we reveal his face here?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Not the one that leaves. But the one who whispered to him, we get a reveal because it was Vandal Savage.
Yeah, but the person who gets up and leaves, like, just like slowly like stands up, and everyone in the court just goes silent, and then he just like slowly stomps down.
But he's still like all shadow. You can't
but it's
see
a very
face.
very cool scene. Where
But
he's, like,
we're talking, dude. This guy is like
he's very
big,
very big
and menacing.
They don't show his skin color or anything like that.
I don't think they show much. But either way,
like, he's like stomps out like boom, 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 and it's like really cool. Everyone's watching him as he silently walks out of the stage. Everyone's like, "Oh boy!"
Yeah, you know this guy's big. If everyone, even the Tribune, is like not saying a word.
Do we get a look at Superman recognizing him and like, "Oh boy," or anybody like, "Oh, it's him"?
Nope, I don't think anyone actually recognizes him.
This is when we hit that intro.
And then we start at the evil watchtower.
Yeah. And Adam, who's apparently the only one in charge there, he's the senior member. Tells the senior members that an enormous planet is coming towards Earth.
An entire planet, indeed.
And Dick freaks out about how huge the thing is.
And of course, meanwhile in New York City, the Reach. And the ambassador is like,
"Oh boy,
this isn't good,"
and tells them to leave. But suddenly they're like, "Okay, we should probably get ready to leave." Or the Reach does he tell them the planet to leave?
I don't remember.
I think he tells them. He says, "Approaching world, please leave. This is out of the Reach." And then we hear Keith David.
And for those of you who are not familiar,
oh come on,
Keith David is a big hint because that is the voice of literally one of my favorite underplayed villains, Mongul.
Mongul is fantastic.
And,
really, you're giving him the credit from that? Like, Keith David's from 1,000 Things. Gargoyles, right. He's fantastic. He's the main Goliath. Also, They Live. He's the main dudes helping him.
I was waiting for you to do all that because that's your job. Yeah. But I'm just letting everyone know
and the general from all the Halo games. He's in 1,000 Things, and he's the incredible voice.
Which... Now that we're putting the pieces together for you, if it's Mongul, what is this giant planet?
It's War.
Good old Warworld.
I love Mongul to death.
Dude, same here.
I love when he's a hero because he's sometimes a hero. I love when he's a villain. He's just a great dude, and Warworld's fantastic.
Ah, yes. And of course, as the ambassador fails his attempts, he turns to Black Beetle and is like, "What should we do?"
They're like, Green Beetle. Yeah, Green Beetle in probably likely Tau Star Labs tells the people of this threat. He says, Warworld, an autonomous planet from a near-extinct race run by drones. It's nearly moon-sized. He tells them Mongul runs it without moving and aims to conquer the galaxy and can destroy this and any other planet.
Yep, and of course, everyone's just like, uh-oh.
Yeah, we cut to Mal and Bumblebee, who are on a date when they see Warworld, and its gravitational pull is causing all kinds of disasters all over the planet, which is great.
And of course, we go to GBS News, where Cat Grant is also like, there's a giant moon there. Yeah. What's going on?
The ambassador says the Reach has only one ship, and they are not prepared for war. But also, did they reveal that, is it Mongul's race that made this, or is it a different race and Mongul just took it? Because Mongul's race is also like practically wiped out because they're so ridiculous.
Yeah, I think like Mongul is like of a race that made Warworld, and he's like the sole survivor of it or something like that. I don't think they actually go into detail with that in this.
Okay, I'm about to say because like I'm about to freaking go off on Mongul when he became a Yellow Lantern and all kinds of stuff, but that's not for now.
Yeah, but then of course Captain Atom tries go like from the Watchtower. He's like, hey, Mongul. Can we just negotiate, please? And of course, Mongul's just like, yeah, no.
Yeah, he says that if you know what the Reach is going to do to you, you'd welcome me destroying your planet. And he's like, what?
Yeah, pretty much.
He powers up a huge super beam.
And literally, he powers it up. When Green Beetle says he doesn't move at all, he literally does not. He's literally in a chair and just... with mind power or whatever.
It's just, I think when they said, I think he has like a crown control.
Oh yeah, he does have a crown control.
But also, they say though, so when they say it's autonomous, they show a bunch of like robots running around, putting fusion reactors in, and all kinds of like taking batteries and all kinds of stuff.
But either way, he just open fires pretty much.
Yeah, charges up a huge laser beam just as Dr. Fate appears and absorbs the beam just in time.
Gotta love Dr. Fate, a.k.a. Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah, and the whole remaining rest of the League show up to fight. We see Rocket backing Fate, Captain Atom, Shazam, and Green Beetle are taking on Warworld, and the entire rest of the team is heading inside.
Yep, an infiltration mission.
Yep, the group is after the crystal key to stop the ship. Mongul.
Yep.
Yeah, Mongul is not. Wait, it's not the lead planet. Oh, he can't leave. He doesn't want to leave the base that he's sitting on.
Yeah.
The one team's going to fight Mongul, and the other team is going to cut the power to the planet.
Yep. I think that's what taking the key does.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
there's 3 different groups. Like one's confronting Mongul, one's cutting the power, one's taking the key.
Yep. And of course, not only is the other team there, but we also get the other Guardian, like the actual Guardian, is joining them as well.
Yeah. Also, I was about to say, we'll break down the teams in a second, but before that, the Ambassador is watching through Blue Beetle like a freaking like a dash cam or whatever.
like his body cam. Everything else.
Yeah, he's watching his body cam of Blue Beetle.
And he's just like, I love this show eating popcorn. No, he doesn't, but...
Yeah. Mal is taking a chance to air his relationship drama with
Oh my goodness. Don't get me wrong. I like the comedy in it.
Yeah.
But it's like... It reminded me of Frozone and his wife. Where is my super suit?
Yeah, he's like, woman, what are you... Like, she's like... Mal, are you serious? We're in the middle of a mission. He's like, woman, what are you not in the middle of a mission?
It was funny, but it's like the other side of me as I'm laughing.
As a rational person, like, this is not the time.
Yeah, exactly. But the rational side of me is like, can this wait, please?
Yeah, this is not a good time.
Oh.
We also get it. Oh, this is Connor, Wonder Girl, finally back in the again. Wolf and Arsenal are attacking Mongul head on. I'm like, why are Wolf and Arsenal there? They don't have any other heavy hitters. Like, I would send McGann and maybe Lagoon Boy after him.
No, because remember from Justice League, that Jean wasn't even able to do any mind powers to Mongul because he was just that strong.
Yeah, Mongul's strong, but yeah, she's also probably the top strongest people there. Rocket also would be a great asset to fight Mongul.
McGann only has mind power. She's not strong.
She's strong enough. She's slightly strong. Oh, but also Wolf and Arsenal though.
Dude, Arsenal.
Arsenal does some damage.
Arsenal, I can understand because of his whole tech and something. I can understand why you'd be confused on that as well because even I'm like, why Arsenal? But Wolf is enhanced. He's not just Wolf. He's boots kind of.
He's pretty good, but Arsenal's ridiculous. Of course, he
seriously.
whoops them all very easily. And this is when we finally get the hint that Mongul's people are from a planet with a red sun, like Krypton, and they get powered from yellow because. You gotta freaking restrain me from going off on all the Mongol lore, but when he trained Superman to get more yellow power energy when he got his powers drained. Mm-hmm. He's a good guy sometimes, and he's really cool that they're similar ways to Krypton.
He's not good, but he's not bad all the time. I mean, he is more bad than good. It's just he's very chaotic neutral because there are times where he will train someone, train Superman or something like that. But it's more towards his own personal benefit. Yeah,
but also the time when he took over... I'm about to go off. Don't stop me. Okay, but when he took over when he had all the yellow lantern rings and he took over the Daxamite planet... Stop me. Okay, please. Back on subject.
Hey, back on topic here.
We get beside that Wonder Girl just keeps getting bopped all over the place by everybody. Mm-hmm. Arsenal is great at ranged. Is really good.
Oh yeah, and of course Mongul is just what seriously?
Yeah, he's not taking a single dent from it.
But then of course, as all of this is happening, Cat Grant is still, reporting on, what's going on here.
Also, he keeps mentioning that, let me kill your world, dude. It's better than what the Reach are gonna do. You guys aren't listening to me.
Right? Yeah.
And this is when he unleashes a bunch of crazy things, and he says,
crazy robot things.
Yeah.
And then, as that's happening, that's when Cat's like, "Oh my goodness, look at all the things that are happening!
Yeah, it's crazy.
Look at Dr. Fate doing all this stuff and all this."
Yeah, Dr. Fate and the rest are outside, able to. They say, where do they get the scale of they're able to stop 65% of the attack? 13% is being helped by the world's military.
Something like that. Something ridiculous
is the Reach
like that.
Scanning that?
It was. Oh no! It was Batgirl from the Watchtower.
Okay, yeah, about 65%.
And she says that the bioship estimates this.
Yeah. With no option, the ambassador of the Reach mobilizes the Reach's fleets that they claim not to have.
In that one episode when we see a bunch of Reach ships underneath the water.
Yeah.
Guess what? They're using it now.
Yeah,
and wait a minute. Isn't this going to be bad for the future? Because they literally claim they only have one unarmed ship.
They're going to be so screwed. They're finally going to be done with them.
Oh
it's
my
be
goodness!
Crazy
anyway.
big space battle happens. They lose in this giant battle. We see that the Reach are going to lose 2/3 of their fleet.
Thank goodness. I mean, oh no, our earthly friends.
Yeah, and of course, Mal continues to sass his bad girlfriend for their while they're trying to reach the power core.
Dude, it is a veritable sass-off.
It's really hilarious. Impulse, Blue, and Beast Boy find the crystal key thing.
And of course, after, through some, fighting robots and stuff, they actually succeed in getting the key.
Yeah, Bumblebee reroutes the power, and Mongul is legit like, God dang it, guys.
Yeah, except for, as that's happening, because he's wearing the crown thing, it also hurts him.
Yeah, he gets an energy feedback from the power core.
And then he gets, knocked out.
Yep, Connor's team press the advantage, and they knock him out, stopping the attack. In total,
Yep.
Blue and the team get the key. The planet is stopped. The ambassador is glad that Beetle has the key.
Yep, he's like, yeah, we may have, took a very serious hit, but at least we got some good out of it as he notices the key.
Yeah, Mal thanks Bumblebee and
they make up.
The big beautiful brain for really saving the day. Like, you guys really did it with the power thing. That's what really took him out. And tells him he's proud of her. Wonder Girl starts flirting with Arsenal and gives him a cheek kiss.
I like it because, after Mal and Bumblebee are making out, Arsenal's just like, no, where's that reward? Wonder Girl kisses him on the cheek, and he's just like, it's a start, with a smug smirk.
Yeah, like a creep. Blue Beetle says, the gang's all here, huh? That's great. And he starts fighting them, just starts pulling out weapons and
everyone's like,
them.
What are you doing?
Yeah, what the? He takes them out, but Arsenal freaks and opens the airlock. Then they lose Sphere.
Yep, they lose Sphere, and I think, if I remember correctly, Jaime is still in there. Because,
he's still in the body, yeah.
Yeah, he's still in the room, because after all that happens and the door closes, the lack of oxygen trying to get it back, they all, knocked out. Yeah, they all get knocked out.
And he finished the team. And Arsenal escapes.
Yep.
And he escapes with the key. Blue escapes with the key. Arsenal escapes the thing that everyone's knocked out in. And the ambassador is pleased that they have succeeded.
And this is where not only this episode, but this entire episode will end, because that is the last one we're doing.
Yep, and that was probably my favorite, just because I love Mongul. Keith David's great to listen to.
Mongul is one of my favorites. I know he was sort of minor in Justice League, but he was amazing. I needed more of him.
Oh, he was absolutely the coolest, and I absolutely loved that episode.
I just liked it because he wasn't ooh, I'm totally, no, he was, hey, I'm gonna destroy things because I need to not be bored.
Yeah, but also the Reach, I'm not gonna let them get another planet.
Exactly.
Let's just smash that planet. It's really cool.
And then, oh my goodness, just everything about this episode was crazy. Even that, what? I mean, we the viewers knew something was up because, Jaime and Green Beetle and Black Beetle.
Yeah.
But it's just this time, everything was revealed to everyone.
I love that pop-off moment when everyone's back and everyone's happy and everything's successful, and then just okay, now the time for the betrayer to make their move. I love that. Whenever that scene happens in anything, I'm really happy about it. That's really cool and interesting to watch. But yeah, he just busts out and just starts whooping butt, and it's a huge blow up.
It's amazing.
It's so good.
Oh my goodness.
It was such a good thing. I am so looking forward to the next 5 episodes. Oh, it's so good. Alright.
But anyway, but yes. With that being said, because we could talk about this for literally hours.
Yeah, like I said, you have to keep stopping me from going off about Mongul.
We will, however, have to wrap this up here.
Yep.
Now, I don't have any plugs. I'm thinking of maybe doing a Twitter or something.
Okay. Yeah.
But you, I know, have quite a few other.
Oh yeah, I've got Matthew Lewis podcasts on YouTube, Matthew Lewis podcasts on Twitter, Matthew Lewis podcasts on Patreon. Forgotten Minotaur King still going.
By the way, you should totally listen to that one, because if you like fantasy story driven things, it's top tier.
Yeah, it's a great audio drama that I'm working on for a while. It's great and I love it. That's my stuff.
And other than that, keep it sleazy, everyone.
Wow, I knew you were going to do it. Alright, keep it sleazy, folks. We'll get a different catchphrase maybe someday.